Alright everyone, welcome back. The voices of children cheering and the sound of a ball being bounced around reached me. Excuse me. Soccer. A game of soccer, huh? Yep, did that together with Shinji. It was a snowy day, very unusual back then. Shinji lost one of his shoes. Well, whatever. Having found a nice grassy spot near the playground, I sit down cross-legged. Won't be long before I'll be able to see the outline of my stomach. It's got to look like a deflated soccer ball already. Wasting no time, I take out my 2-tier container and dig in wholeheartedly. As soon as my consciousness comes back, I look up, still munching. On the field, 4 versus 4. 8 kids are struggling with the ball. Munching on my soy sauce boiled burdock, I keep watching the game. What I thought was a mere child's play is actually looking pretty good. Looks like the attack and defense are well aware of their roles. Despite having an unusual number of players, this isn't just a kid's game, more of a mini-match. Having watched for a while, I noticed that the 2 kids on the inside are clearly different. Their passes are quite nice looking. Seems like they're going easy on the rest. Must be the local soccer club members or something. Thinking that, I see one energetic guy just vigorously kicking the ball forward. Falling victim to feints in an amusing way, he keeps pitching forward. Seeing that pitiful but persistent little figure, I suddenly get an urge to help him out, and it wasn't just me who felt that way. From the opposite end of the field, a jeans-clad figure is cheering in his support. And not in the usual cheerleading way, but rather expressing her own joy and sorrow, relaying it as the match progresses. The kids seem to notice it too, feeling awkward whenever they hear her voice. Definitely not Japanese. The hair is a pretty golden color, a white slender girl-like figure. And I definitely remember seeing the huge lunchbox at her feet before. Wait, now that I look at it, aren't those my shirt and jeans? Saber? Yep, no mistake. That blue ribbon, definitely Saber. Actually, now that the weather is nice, she did say that she was going out sometime during the day. But the moment I stand up, about to wave to Saber, who's completely immersed in the game, one of the kids stops the match and turns towards her. The other kids start gathering as well. As the kids come closer, Saber looks around herself nervously.
姉ちゃんとは私のことですね。
他にいねえし、見てんのらさ、別に構わねえけど、ちょっと黙っててくれよ。
そうだよ、調子狂いまくり。
Several kids voiced their agreement.
とんだ部長報をいたしました。テレビではいつも大掛かりな応援を目にするものですから、少しでもそれらしくと。得点が入った時など、こう集団で波を作り出したり、それはもう壮観な。
Bending then straightening her knees, Saber meets the kids' unimpressed stares.
失礼いたしました。今後は静かに観戦します。
She bows her head deeply. Suddenly, a ball drops in her lap.
もしかして俺らに混ざりたいのか、あんた。
And the one who threw it is the very same reckless kid from before. Excuse me.
良いのですか？
Taking the ball, her eyes are shining.
やめとけよ、ゲロス。
せえな。
外国人じゃん。
That kid actually looks like a little Shiro, just with blue hair, navy blue.
バカ、今時日本人ばっかりのチームなんかねえよ。
そういや、そっか。
サッカーできんの？姉ちゃん、何人？フランス、ドイツ？
イングランド、イギリスです。
Oh, the kids all let out.
イギリスってサッカーが国技だろ？日本の相撲みたいにさ。ちげえよ。国技にしてんのはドイツとかブラジル。
イギリスはあれじゃん。 ゲートボールと野球の合いの子みたいなやつ。名前忘れたけど。
I don't know what gate ball is.
何それ、ゴルフじゃねえの？
ゴルフが国技なのはスコットランド。でも確かサッカーが生まれたのはイギリスだよ。
へえ、お前よく知ってんな。
The boy that called out to Saber clicks his tongue.
だよ、スペインじゃねえのか。
はい。
Saber nods, perplexed.
イギリス人だったらサッカーは得意ですよね。
Says the boy with glasses.
いえ、それが一度もやってみたことがないのです。
冗談、めちゃめちゃかぶりつきで見てたし。つうかさ、女はやらねえってこと？
サッカーをですか？いえ、
Saber's looking at the ball in her hands.
ずっと興味はあったのですが、鍛錬に追われる日々で挑戦する機会がありませんでした。けれど兵たちが興じている様子はよく見かけたものです。ルール、このボールを味方同士で受け渡ししながら、あの敵陣を示すゴールへ届ければ良いのでしょ。
そうだけど、んなの誰でも知ってるって。
兵とか鍛錬とか、姉ちゃん何者？軍人？
まあそのようなものです。あ、自衛隊の事務員さん？自衛隊？
なんだよ、期待してみたら初心者かよ。足手まといが増えちまうな、ゲロス。
だからせえよ。
Before long, I see them choose a representative from each team, and with rock, paper, scissors decide which team is going to take the foreign player on. Soon, Saber goes out into the field surrounded by the kids. With that, that's a relief. I thought few was with. Should there have been trouble, I was ready to force my way through the crowd of children, but it ended up working out. Continuing where I left off with the chopsticks, I resumed my meal. A mischievous thought crosses my mind. I slide over to a nearby tree, hiding myself in the shade. Which, by the way, I am not used to seeing Saber wearing a long sleeve shirt along with jeans. She's always wearing that long skirt.
行ったぜ、姉ちゃん。
姉ちゃんではありません。セイバーです。
As she's protesting, her intent gaze is following the ball that was sent high up in front of her.
トラップ！
罠ですか？
体で止めんだよ！
なるほど。
The awkward game continues for a while. No matter how short she is, she still looks out of place playing alongside kids. But Saber herself pays no notice, her face shining brightly. Even the kids, feeling the joy, soon stop going easy on her and begin the real match. That's when it really became a sight worth watching. Right before my eyes, she starts to get used to handling the ball by mimicking the kids' movements. In a span of a few minutes, her movements change completely. Even as the ball goes outside the field, she casually brings it back into the game. And even the opposing team can no longer just kick the ball towards the safety zone. Their passes are becoming more cautious. Speaking of which, the soccer club member-like kid that I noticed a while back, as expected, Saber is chasing him, but he manages to keep her at bay as it feints. Suddenly slowing down, he kicks the ball in a direction entirely different from where he's looking, tricking Saber hilariously. But that's not happening a second time. While pretending to go for a long-range kick, he passes the ball to a nearby teammate instead. Seeing through the maneuver, she quickly catches up. Finally, the ball is hers. Unfortunately, her 4 teammates are still behind her. She's all alone right in the middle of the enemy field. As if unsure of what to do next, she looks back. The response comes back as a mix of high-spirited voices.
ガラキ！
突っ込めー！
Saber's face suddenly becomes serious.
はい。
The opposing team had gone on attacking too deeply, and it looks like they're now short-handed. The defender, also the goalkeeper, hurries back to the net. Gliding along the grass, she dribbles towards the goal. She is now facing the goalkeeper one-on-one. A straight shot without a trace of hesitation. Deeply intimidated, the keeper cowers in fear. Grazing the top of his head, the ball flies up, hits the top bar, rebounds, and soars high into the sky.
すっげえシュート！
おっかね
As if to silence the disappointment, out comes the energetic boy's cry.
まだだ押し込め
もちろんです。
Looking up, the ball that has already become but a black dot in the sky is now being pushed back by the headwind. Aiming for the landing spot, Saber dashes back. In a real game, a ball that has crossed the line in the air would be an out. But this place has its own rules. In other words, the ball's still in play.
させねえって。
Struggling to regain the lead, the opposing team comes running back and surrounds her. Using her torso and knees as a spring, Saber leaps up in the air, easily over a man's height and grabs the falling ball. Her shirt floats in the air as she lands. In front of the dumbfounded kid, Saber throws the ball. Behind the petrified goalkeeper, the net is shaking. A goal, sort of.
どうです。
Striking a triumphant pose, she turns and faces the kids, only to be met with blank stares.
いやいや。あ、
She hurriedly tucks her now messy hair into her pants.
見えましたか？
Messy shirt.
ジーンズが少し緩くて。
Messy hair.
そうじゃねえって。
見るかよバカ。
俺見えた。
Joining in with the kids, red in cheeks, the palm of my hand meets my face.
ふざけんなっての姉ちゃん。手使ったらフットボールじゃん。
だからフットボールなのでは？
Being put on the spot, she gets nervous. Well, it's not exactly undeserved.
ラグビーと間違えてんじゃね
ラグビー？
She questions with a blank face.
皆さんが口にしているサッカーとは、つまりフットボールのことでしょ？手を使ってはいけないのですか？
ダメに決まってんじゃん。
それハンドファールだよ。
おお。ですがテレビではボールを投げる場面も。
腕を使っていいのはキーパーだけ。キーパーはあいつだからって最初に言った。
そう俺。
Once again, the boy playing as the goalkeeper raises his hand.
おお、そういう意味だったとは。これは私の失点でした。以後はよく気をつけます。
Raising her dropped head back up, Saber folds her arms deep in thought.
日本のサッカーのルールはシンプルでいながら複雑です。我が国ではとにかくボールをゴールに入れてしまえばよかった。
何でもありってこと？
ええ、ボールを蹴るのは距離を稼ぐのに手っ取り早いからです。ゴール直前はいつもボールを脇に抱えて奪い合い、殴り合いながら突進していったものです。
殴るのも超ファール。
退場退場。
では壁や木でボールを跳ね返したりもやはりなしですか？
グラウンドに木なんか生えてねえよ。
野原よりむしろ街中の試合の方が多かったのですが。
街って？
本当にイギリス人か？
そう言われるとあまり自信が。
Well, yeah, in the Age of Kings, what Saber had watched must have been a predecessor to what is known as soccer today. But then it's Saber we're talking about. The form might be a little different, but anything that involves moving your body around, she'll get used to in no time. But that's not what worries me.
つまり足さばきが最も重要なのですね。
The kids exchange semi-amazed glances.
ヘディングとかもあるけど、あんた女だし。
女があんなシュート打つか？
では次は本気で蹴ります。
まだ本気じゃねえの？
あれは人にぶつかりそうだったので手加減をしたのです。
The kids have suspicion all over their faces. Pushing Saber outside their circle, they put their heads together and start whispering. And as usual, the energetic boy's voice.
マジかよ。絶対やんねえ。あったよ。そう、悪いのはいつも俺。
And other noises. What a lively fellow. Soon they break up and turn to face Saber once again.
じゃあ姉ちゃんさ、もう一回最初から勝負どうよ。
勝負ですね。良いでしょう。受けて立ちます。私も失態続きでは収まりがつきませんし、何より夕食が美味しくありません。皆さんもまだまだ主力を出し尽くしてはいないと感じておりました。
Here we go. Saber's unique trait and her weakest point, her inability to accept defeat. The kids' faces turn pale. Even if she's a beginner, they realize who they're dealing with. As can only be expected of the king of all beasts, no matter if the opponents are a bunch of little kids, asking her to take it easy is pointless. And thus starts the rock paper scissors game to separate the living from the dead. After a series of shouts have finished resounding throughout the playground, the teams are decided. And as the two groups separate, Saber seems confused.
先ほどとは人数が違いますね。向こうは5人、こちらは私を含めて4人ですか。
ハンデですよ。
あんたが2人分だってば姉ちゃん。だから5対5でいいの。
ちげえよ。ゲロスはいてもいなくても同じじゃん。
せえな。
Before starting the match, they picked someone to go buy some drinks and now giving them their request. Aside, the conversation with Saber continues.
そうは言っても私は初心者なのですが。でもゲロス、あなたが同じチームで。
ゲロスって言うな。
Caught off guard by a remarkably loud scream echoing throughout the playground, the kids go quiet for a moment. However, the silence doesn't last long and is now being replaced by a debate about drink brands.
ゴーラ。
モテねえ。もう一人来いよ。
Having procured the drinks, kids plop down onto the grass in small groups and take a break. Saber is kneeling down next to the boy sitting cross-legged. For some reason, she looks restless. Looks like she remembered that unlike usual, she isn't wearing a skirt. Carefully checking around her, she timidly tries to cross-leg pose. How's that? Her satisfied expression seems to say. Hiding myself deeper within the shade, I feel a tinge of regret. That's a lie. In fact, I'm barely suppressing the laughter that's threatening to burst forth. Saber starts talking to the energetic boy beside her.
先ほどのは良くない相性のようですね。気安く呼びかけてしまったことを謝ります。しかし、そのままにしておいて良いのですか？
別に怒ってねえよ。大声出して悪かったよ。
Another boy plops down on his stomach beside them.
こいつさ、キーパー得意なんだ。ボール怖がんねえからさ。
素晴らしいではないですか。
俺はシュートがしたいんだよ、フォワードで。
1点も入れたことねえけどな。で、いつだっけ？こんな近くからのシュートを腹で直に受けちゃってさ、おえーって。
なるほど。だからごまと呼ばれるように。
そういうこと。
恥じることはありません。名誉の負傷です。
ゲロじゃ相手からファール取れねえって。
あれ、元の名前なんだっけ？なんか言ってたよね。今日から俺はゲロストンだっけ？
ガリクソンじゃねえか？
ちげえよ。
While scratching his head, the boy says,
スペインのさ、リーガ・エスパニョーラにすっげえシュート打つ選手がいるんだ。トリスタンっていう。
ああ、それだ。
Right that moment, Saber's eyes flip wide open and her gaze fixates on the boy in front of her.
なんだよ、やるなよ。
トリスタン。あなたはトリスタンですか？
ゲロスでいいってんだろ。恥ずかしいからもうやめろよ。
素晴らしい名前ではないですか。トリスタン、ぜひそう呼ばせてください。
別に本名じゃねえし、俺がこんなサッカー弱いままじゃトリスタンだって迷惑だろ。
He says, pointing at the proud-looking Saber.
そんなことはない。あなたのような少年の憧れになることはいつの時代でも戦いに赴く者の何よりの励みとなるでしょう。
Confused, Tristan's cheeks are burning red.
1点くらいなんですか。あなたならすぐに入れられます。頑張りましょう。我々4人みんなで。
Taking the initiative, Saber stands up straight.
何しろ最終的には77対88というような得点になるわけですから、選手1人が1点入れる機会くらいは。
姉ちゃん、それバスケね。
スリーポイントシュートとかもないから。
変な外国人。
The game begins. Just prior, Saber kept insisting that Tristan should come out in front, but
勝つつもりならあんたが前に出なきゃダメだ。キーパーは絶対俺がやる。
he absolutely wouldn't budge. Saber's side is outnumbered. Goalkeepers aside, the teams are 3-on-4. With this few players, a difference of even one may end up affecting the match far more than expected. Once the ball is theirs, the basic strategy is to attack while passing it between Saber and the other player. However, that leaves one defender to back up the two of them. Just one, not exactly reliable. On the other hand, the opposing team, in addition to having one defender, can use the remaining player as a midfielder for both offense and defense in a much more soccer-like manner. Looks like the kids didn't mention anything about the offside rule. In that case, for Saber with her speed, it would be advantageous to press deep within the enemy's side, I'd guess. However, the passes get cut too often, the attack soon crumbles and the entire team is forced to defend. Saber's team is clinging onto its field and can't make a move. A cry comes towards them from the goal. The keeper himself cannot advance in front. Instead, shining at the top of his lungs, the boy points at his best spot to attack. Now's the chance. Gracefully stopping the ball that was cleared by her team, she is advancing forward. Her dribbling picture perfect. A world of difference from before. With this, neither allies nor enemies will catch her. That's right. Opposed by the numerous enemies, Saber is literally playing two roles. The opposing team's defender stands in her path. Looks like she's having a lot of fun too. Slowing down, it looks like she's about to pass the ball to her teammate on the other side. Suddenly turning her body around, she dashes forward yet again. A feint. Having artfully handled the opponent, she leaves him behind. Well done. Now only the goalkeeper remains.
Chance! 先制点もらい!
Her teammates' cheers intensify, never stopping her feet for even a moment. Saber nods. Even the goalkeeper already has the vision of her last shot, but flashing before him. Seeing the image of a roaring lion approaching from the front, he knows he's already dead.
もう外しません。
And even greater distance this time, she finally assumes the shooting position. Is it confidence, or maybe just compassion for the keeper giving him the runaway? Flash of her foot like a bow, releasing an arrow. A gunshot-like sound reverberates through the field. My cheeks shiver, as if having received an electric attack. Covering their ears, the kids are petrified. Did she break the sound barrier? She did say she'll be serious, and get serious she definitely did. Yeah, it's Saber after all. This is the end. Fearing the worst, I look over the goal. What's left of the kid, a gaseous mist of red particles. Well, not quite. Huddled behind the goalpost, the poor kid finally dares to crack open his eyelids. There's no ball, and neither is there a gaping hole. All that's there is a soft breeze swaying the net.
すっげえ 見て。キーパー死んでねえよ。
じゃあボールは？
The agitated kids turn towards Saber. With a shamed face, she points towards the sky.
申し訳ありません。
A mix of angry cries, screams, and shouts of joy pierce the autumn sky. Like a boomerang, or maybe some kind of UFO, the pitiful remains of the ball split into a big, Mitsubishi shape come flying back.
ああ、三枝のボールはありやがった。うい、姉ちゃんに殺される。俺知らねえぞ。怒られるのコウタ兄ちゃんだけだからな。
どうすんだよ試合。
おお、もう一回やってみてプリーズ。
だからボールがねえんだって。
Saber hangs her head in shame. In the meantime, the remains of the ball finally land in a nearby thicket. Having received the full force of the impact, the synthetic leather has split magnificently, straight line burn marks evident on the surface, the latest victim to witness Saber's deadly attack. I hesitate for a while. Shall I watch the match till the end, or shall I leave before they notice me? I want to keep watching, but I shouldn't interfere with this development.
どっちかしか取れないよな、こういうのは。
Much as I hate to leave, there's one thing I can do. That being, trace on. Mourning over their fallen comrade, only Tristan manages to not fall into despair.
だよ、たかがボールじゃん。
でも三枝兄には当分小遣いなしだぜ。
それは諦めろ。
私が弁償を。
無理。うちの姉ちゃんが人様からお金もらうわけないよ。
遺憾に存じます。
だったらゲロス持ってこいよ。家近いだろ。
俺のボールは川に放流したんだ。
ああ、前の PK 戦の時のゲロスのか。 PK であんな飛距離稼いだシュート初めて見たよな。
せえな、いつか大きくなって戻ってくんだよ。
面目次第もございません。
And then suddenly the soccer ball comes back, bouncing up as high as it hits the grass. It's not in Saber's hands. The scar marks are still there, yet it definitely holds air.
何？どっから飛んできた？
I'm still watching, but now from the thicket behind them, lying on the ground, the kids huddle around Saber, gawking at her hands.
治ってる。怖え。サプライズ。姉ちゃんマジシャン？
いえ、魔術は不得意です。
ほら戻ってきたじゃん。なあ。
I like how she's answering them seriously, like they didn't have any idea that magic is real, at least to their eyes.
生きてんのかよ。っていうか復活？
これはそうですね。きっと魔法です。
Saber's holding onto their precious ball tightly.
さて、
Now that the seeker is out, it's time to retreat. Saber's innocent joy of playing soccer with the kids would be spoiled by seeing me here.
試合の結果はまた次の機会に教えてもらうってことで。
Sneaking around, I quietly leave the playground. Right then, where should I go for the afternoon? That was nice. I like that. Uh-oh, what's going on here? I make my way along the forest path to the hill behind the temple. Today is another nice day. Once I pass through this curtain of trees, a view of the fresh blue sky and the mountain should be waiting for me. Wait, what? My field of vision expands. The spectacle that greets my eyes is that pile of corpses. But the one facing off against that abstract scenery isn't me. It's the man with the same origin as me, reciting an unpleasant sutra. White sunlight burns my eyes. There are still traces of summer left here at the rear of the temple.
眩しい。
Looks like the strong sunlight has blinded me for a second. What the hell's that sound? As if all colors had been inverted, the scenery appeared black for just an instant.